Virtual insanity.
Hello. How's it going? Hi there. My name is Jason Avila, and today what we're going to be talking about is something fun. First of all, I'd like to let you know I haven't slept in the past 24 hours, and that is important because what we're going to be talking about is communication. The number one thing that I want to make clear to you is this. Communication is one of the most important things in your entire life. And you know this specifically because you use it every day. It is theorized that you cannot not communicate. Isn't that fun? Even when you try not to do things, people can interpret your actions and treat it as if you're trying to say something, which is true. Whenever you do things, you are trying to do something. And in that sense, the interpretation of your actions is in itself a communication of ideas, because that is communication. The process of transferring information from one party to another. Anyway, so now that we have that information in our noodles up here, what do we do with it? Well, I have a theory that all manipulation is communication. Reverse those two. All communication is manipulation. Why do I think this? Well, I go into it in my blogs, but the main thing to think about for the first blog, the first one, which is what I'm going to be covering right now, is that survivally, our brains are hardwired to interpret. There's like in another class that I studied for in this semester, there's a funky little neocortical thing where we can only really connect with 150 people, because throughout history that was the largest amount of groups that we had for like an extended period of time, to where our brains just favored people who could deal with that many connections. Once again, it's Dunbar's number is what it's called. Dunbar's number, which is we have about a little bit less than, but we have the capability of an average for the average amount of people, or the average for people being that they can connect with 150 connections with other folks. After that, you just kind of lose everything in the sauce. It's important to know that our brains were hardwired for survival because of the experiences that the people before us went through, which gave us the processes which would help us survive, because the ones who survived had these processes and thus passed it on. And the reason why this is important to my theory that communication is manipulation is because if we are hardwired to survive, well, you can do a lot of horrible things for survival, wouldn't you? I mean, have you heard the horror stories of people who they do awful things, absolutely abhorrent, and they should be killed, and they should be dead? I say sarcastically, because no. The number one thing that I'm going to show throughout my blogs is that I have a bit of an internal struggle in my mind, which is this. I think communication is manipulation. It's not that it is, but rather there is a quality of manipulating how you go about communicating so that information is, again, transferred from one party to another more efficiently. You can think about Plato's rhetoric. All right. I only got 20 seconds left before this 5 minutes, and I can't go over. About 10 now. So I'll say this. We do a lot of things for survival, and the number one thing to note is that you should not judge people on how they survive. You should judge the things which force them to survive. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed.